Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll make this fast because I got a lot to go over. We've talked a lot today about the 12 UNRWA employees, but those 12 employees are just the tip of the iceberg when you talk about possibly thousands of employees loyal to Hamas and anti-Semitic and anti-American interests. Over the years, this organization that we spend about 28% of the UN's budget is supported by the United States, and yet this organization has thousands of allegations of child trafficking, rape, murder, theft, embezzlement, with almost no accountability. I was in Uganda in 1994 as part of Operation Restore Hope, watched UN leave and watched almost 1 million people be killed. And if you look at the UN's history and their involvement in foreign countries, let me list some of them: Congo, Somalia, Rwanda, Libya, Angola, Sierra Leone, Sudan, Haiti, Afghanistan, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Yemen, Iraq, Iran, just to name a few. How's that been going? Mr. Noor, there have been hundreds of resolutions of the United Nations condemning Israel. How many have condemned the Palestinian administration?
I'm not aware.
The one that condemned, the one that was run by Hamas, by the way.
I'm not aware of any resolution condemning
Nor am
Palestine.
I, but there have been hundreds against Israel, usually in the double digits per year. This is the United Nations, by the way. The United Nations, that organization which we fund 28% of. I know that UNRWA oversees Gaza's educational system, and for years it's sectioned the textbooks used that have, quote, encouraged to sacrifice their blood to liberate Jerusalem, with terms such as, quote, jihad warriors, including the attempting to erase Israel's existence and legitimacy. I know that you, Mr. Noor, have been against the appointment and nomination of Mr. Pierre, along with 18,000 other folks. Can you tell me exactly why Mr. Karenbol should be opposed?
Thank you, Congressman. Look, the Red Cross on its own has failed to meet with any of the hostages that are being held in Gaza, and that is shameful. In addition, beyond their diplomatic failure, in their public statements, we've counted 10 to 1 their statements are in favor of the Hamas narrative and biased against Israel. The notion that they would now appoint Pierre Krahenbuhl, the former head of UNRWA, who was forced to resign in disgrace, is shocking, and we oppose it. He was forced to resign in 2019 in wake of a major corruption, abuse of power, and ethics scandal, which included allegations that he had a very inappropriate relationship with one of his staffers who was paid $200,000 a year, and the Swiss government paid for it. Several countries suspended funding in 2019 in wake of the scandal, including Switzerland, Belgium, and the Netherlands. And his response was to say he was cleared of the charges, he claimed in a Swiss TV broadcast. He said it was a conspiracy. The implication of this broadcast was that it was a conspiracy between the U.S., Israel, and the Swiss foreign minister to besmirch UNRWA. But the reality is that even people who like UNRWA said it's false, that he was not cleared of the charges. The UNRWA ethics inspector, Lex Tackenberg, and Professor Ricardo Bocco, both of them leading supporters of UNRWA, said Pierre Krahenbuhl was not cleared of the charges. So the notion that the Red Cross would appoint this person is shameful. And I just want to say, in closing, that the Swiss newspaper Le Temps, Louis Lama, wrote 3 parts in an investigation. He wrote that the allegations of corruption are all valid. There was terrible corruption in UNRWA, but no one wants to talk about it because it might help the U.S. and Israel in their criticisms.
And so this is
no one wants to talk about it.
I want to sum this up. We spend about $13 billion per year right now on the United Nations, the leading funder by far. And this is an organization that has tons of corruption, tons of appointees that are anti-American, anti-Semitic. I want to call not in just to question what we spend on UNRWA, but on the United Nations in general, a top-down review. I'm talking about all spending. I'm very much in favor of ceasing all spending until they get their stuff straight, until they prove they're not corrupt, until they prove they're not anti-American, anti-Semitic. If you want to help people out of trouble, whether you be in Gaza or Palestine or anywhere else in the world, how about we start with organizations that are not corrupt, not anti-Semitic, and not anti-American? That's a better investment. It is a time for a change. It is a time for a choice. And let's start there. With that, I yield.
Chair now recognizes Mr. Ison.